All right, entrepreneurs and side hustlers. Anyone out there building their dream, are you ready to kind of have your mind blown? Because today on AI for Biz, we're diving into the world of AI and what it really means for your business. Like right now,
Yeah.
not in some distant future.
You know how everybody is just slapping AI powered on like everything these days? It's almost become meaningless.
It's like a marketing buzzword.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But we're going to cut through all that hype and look at the actual transformative power of AI, especially for small business owners who are already used to wearing all the hats.
Right. You're doing everything.
Yeah.
We're unpacking a YouTube webinar today by Jason, CEO of Azara AI. He was speaking to SCORE, a group that mentors small businesses. Let me tell you, he dropped some serious knowledge bombs in this talk.
Yeah, he does. One of the biggest things he emphasizes is the difference between the AI that we're sort of used to, like chatbots, and
Right.
these new AI. It's a whole different ballgame. Think of it this way. A chatbot can answer a question, maybe give you a list of steps, but an AI agent can actually execute tasks, take actions in the real world.
It can do things.
It can do things, yes.
He gave this example that totally blew my mind.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine you're onboarding a new employee. Instead of just giving you a checklist, an AI agent could actually connect to your calendar, schedule meetings, send out emails, the whole 9 yards.
Really?
It's like having a tireless, super efficient assistant who never takes a lunch break.
Exactly. And for a solopreneur or someone running a lean team, that's a game changer.
Totally.
Suddenly, you can offload all those tedious, repetitive tasks
Right.
and free up your mental bandwidth for strategy, creativity, the stuff that really moves the needle for your business.
The stuff humans are good at.
Exactly.
Okay, so AI agents are super cool.
Huh.
But here's where it gets really wild. Jason argues that this AI revolution is happening at warp speed, faster than any technological shift we've seen before.
That's a big claim.
Yeah, it is.
How does he back that up?
Well, he uses this analogy of mechanical muscles to illustrate how AI is going to surpass even revolutions like electricity or the internet in terms of its impact on the workforce. And the speed of this change is mind-boggling. Remember how long it took for smartphones to become ubiquitous?
Yeah.
We're talking about AI advancements happening in months, even weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, he laid out this timeline that was almost scary.
Okay.
2023 was all about ChatGPT and generative AI. We
Yeah.
all saw how that exploded. But he says 2024 is focused on what's called multimodal voice. Basically AI that can understand and respond to us, not just through text, but through our tone of voice, even facial expressions. It's getting closer to how we interact with real people.
So it's reading between the lines a little more.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then buckle up, because 2025, according to Jason, is the year of AI agents that can operate autonomously.
Autonomously.
That means making decisions and taking actions without constant human input.
Wow.
Imagine an AI that could actually plan and coordinate projects,
Yeah.
manage your inventory,
Yeah.
even negotiate deals with suppliers.
So like a whole team of mini CEOs?
It's like having a team of super intelligent robots working for you 24/7.
All right. So maybe robots taking over the world is a little dramatic,
A
but
little dramatic.
his point is that this is going to have a massive impact on the workforce, especially when it comes to cost. He predicts that AI could become 100 times cheaper than human labor.
That's wild, 100 times.
Now, before anyone panics about robots stealing all the jobs, Jason emphasizes that this isn't just about cutting costs, it's about unlocking a whole new level of productivity. He gives the example of call centers. Imagine a scenario where instead of 100 employees, you have a handful of humans overseeing 100 AI agents. Those remaining employees become 10 times more effective because AI is handling all the routine stuff.
So it's not necessarily about replacing humans,
Right.
but about augmenting our capabilities, making us all work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
But still, it's a lot to wrap your head around. I mean, are we really ready for this kind of shift?
That's the million-dollar question, right? And Jason acknowledges that there will be challenges. Job displacement is a real concern, and we'll need to figure out how to adapt as a society. He mentions potential solutions like universal basic income or government subsidies. But those are big, complex issues we need to be discussing now.
Definitely. But it's not all doom and gloom, though. Jason's overall message is actually pretty optimistic.
Yeah.
He says the key is to start preparing for this AI revolution. Now, don't bury your head in the sand thinking this is some far-off, futuristic thing. It's happening, and the sooner we embrace it, the better.
So what does that look like for the average entrepreneur or side hustler? What can they do to prepare?
That's a great question, and he gives some really practical advice for small business owners especially. He says to think of AI like an intern,
Okay.
eager to learn, but needs clear instructions.
Right.
The key is to start documenting your processes, making everything super clear and organized so the AI can learn them effectively.
So it's all about laying the groundwork.
Yeah. He even suggests using tools like ChatGPT to help with this documentation process, which is kind of meta, right? But the point is, the better your data is organized, the smoother the AI integration will be.
Makes sense.
He also emphasizes the importance of data consistency. Make sure your information isn't contradictory or confusing. AI is great at recognizing patterns, but if you're feeding it garbage, you're going to get garbage out.
Right. Garbage in, garbage out.
Exactly. He had this line that really stuck with me. AI won't take your job, but someone who no WSAI will.
Ooh, that's good.
And that's a real wake-up call for all of us. We need to start building our AI literacy today. If we want to thrive in this new world,
Absolutely. And that's what we're here for, to help you navigate this exciting but sometimes overwhelming landscape. So how about we shift gears and look at some of the potential downsides of AI? Because it's not all sunshine and roses, right? There are some real risks we need to be aware of.
yeah, for sure. I mean, one of the biggest concerns with AI, especially for small businesses, is the potential for misuse. Jason shared some pretty chilling examples of how this technology can be used for malicious purposes.
Like those deepfakes we hear about all the time. It's crazy to think that you can't even trust video or audio anymore because it can be manipulated so easily. He told this story about a company that got scammed out of $25 million because someone used a deepfake to impersonate the CFO on a video call.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's right. And it highlights the growing challenge of verifying identity and authenticity in an AI-powered world. It used to be that you could rely on documents or signatures, but now even those can be forged with almost perfect accuracy using AI. $25 million, I can't even imagine. So how do we protect ourselves in this wild west of digital fakery? It feels like it's getting harder and harder to know what's real and what's not.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Jason stressed the importance of awareness and a healthy dose of skepticism. We need to be extra vigilant about verifying information, especially when it comes to financial transactions or sensitive data. Think of it like developing a digital hygiene routine, similar to how we wash our hands to prevent the spread of germs.
I love that analogy.
Yes.
So what does washing our hands in the digital world look like? Are we talking about constantly fact-checking everything and everyone?
Well, for starters, be wary of anything that seems too good to be true, or that confirms your biases a little too perfectly. Always double-check sources, look for multiple perspectives, and never blindly share information without verifying it first. It's that old saying, trust but verify, but amplified for the age of AI.
It sounds like common sense, but it's easy to get caught up in the excitement or fear-mongering that often surrounds AI. Jason also talked about this other scary trend called synthetic fraud.
Ah, yes, synthetic fraud. This is where AI is used to create entirely fake identities, complete with fake documents, credit histories, even social media profiles. It's a nightmare for businesses that rely on verifying customer information, like banks, online retailers, and even social media platforms.
So it's not just about faking a video or audio clip anymore. It's about creating entire fake personas. It feels like we're in a constant arms race with technology.
Yeah.
As soon as we figure out how to detect one type of fraud, AI evolves and creates a new one.
Yeah, and there's no easy solution. We're going to see a lot of innovation in the field of AI security and authentication, but it's also about shifting our mindset. We need to move away from relying solely on traditional documents and develop more robust methods of verification, perhaps using biometrics or blockchain technology.
It sounds like we're entering a whole new era of digital identity, where the lines between the physical and virtual worlds are becoming increasingly blurred. It's both exciting and a little terrifying at the same time.
Exactly. And this brings us back to Jason's main point. This AI revolution is happening whether we're ready or not. But by understanding both the possibilities and the risks, we can start to navigate this new landscape strategically and make informed decisions about how we integrate AI into our businesses.
He kept emphasizing that this isn't some far-off future scenario, it's happening right now. He urged entrepreneurs especially to start taking action today. He called it a seed and grow approach. You don't have to go all in on AI right away, but you do need to start planting those seeds and nurturing them.
And he made it very clear that AI isn't a set it and forget it type of technology. It's constantly evolving, so we need to be prepared to adapt and learn along the way.
He shared this quote that I thought was super insightful. It's from William Gibson. The future is already here. It's just not very evenly distributed. We often think of the future as this distant, abstract thing, but for some people, those cutting-edge AI tools are already part of their daily lives and businesses.
And that's the challenge, isn't it? To not get complacent, to stay curious, to keep learning and experimenting with these new technologies. Because the gap between those who get it and those who don't is only going to widen. One of the attendees asked Jason how a solopreneur or small business owner could best utilize AI given their limited resources and time.
What did he say? I'm guessing he didn't recommend hiring a team of AI engineers.
Actually, his advice was really interesting. He said to think about building an AI team instead of trying to hire a separate person for finance, sales, customer support, and all the other hats you wear as an entrepreneur. You can have AI agents handling those roles.
Wait, hold on. So instead of hiring a human assistant, I could have a team of AI agents working for me. How do you even find these AI agents? Is it some super exclusive, expensive service?
That's the best part. Jason said you can get started for as little as $100. There are tons of AI tools out there, some specifically designed for small businesses that are surprisingly affordable.
Wow, that's way less intimidating than I imagined. Did he mention any specific tools that entrepreneurs could start using today?
He talked about his own company, Azara AI, of course. But he also mentioned Claude, which is apparently a competitor to ChatGPT. And get this, he said, Claude can actually build apps for you.
Hold up AI that builds apps. So I wouldn't even need to know how to code.
Exactly. You describe what you want the app to do, and Claude writes the code and creates the interface. You just copy and paste it onto your website, and boom, you've got a custom-built app without having to learn a single line of code.
Okay, my mind is officially blown. I need to check out Claude, like, right now. But before we get too carried away with all the cool stuff AI can do, I think it's important to come back to the potential downsides. We've talked about deepfakes and synthetic fraud, but what about the bigger picture ethical concerns around AI?
It's true, we can't just focus on the shiny new tools without considering the potential ethical implications. Jason didn't shy away from those tough questions during the webinar.
Okay, so what kind of ethical dilemmas are we talking about here? Is it just the sci-fi robot uprising scenario?
Yeah, well, that's one extreme. But there are more immediate concerns. One attendee brought up the issue of algorithmic bias, where AI systems perpetuate existing societal prejudices because they're trained on biased data.
Oh, right. I've heard about that.
Yeah.
Like those facial recognition systems that are less accurate at identifying people of color. So how do we ensure that AI doesn't just amplify the inequalities we already have in the real world?
That's a huge challenge, and it requires a multifaceted approach. We need to be more mindful of the data we're using to train these AI systems, ensure diversity in the teams developing the technology, and have clear guidelines and regulations in place to prevent discrimination.
It sounds like there's a lot of work to be done to make sure AI is used ethically and responsibly. Did Jason offer any practical steps that small businesses can take to address these concerns?
He stressed the importance of transparency and accountability. Be upfront with your customers about how you're using AI in your business. Explain how the algorithms work, what data you're collecting, and how you're mitigating potential biases.
That makes sense. It's about building trust and showing your customers that you're using AI in a way that benefits everyone, not just your bottom line. But even if we address all those concerns, there's still this lingering question: what does AI mean for the future of humanity?
Yeah, one of the attendees asked Jason a really thought-provoking question. Is AI going to make humans less intelligent? And his answer was, well, kind of unsettling.
Okay, now I'm really curious. What did he say?
He talked about how we're already outsourcing so much of our decision-making to technology. We rely on GPS for navigation. We let algorithms curate our news feeds. We even have dating apps that use AI to suggest potential partners.
So his point is that AI is just taking that trend to the next level. Instead of just suggesting matches, it'll tell us who to marry, what career to pursue, where to live.
Exactly. And the question is, are we okay with that? Are we willing to surrender that much autonomy to an algorithm, even if it promises to maximize our happiness or success?
It's a slippery slope for sure. Where does personal responsibility end and AI guidance begin? It feels like we're entering a whole new era of existential questions.
Right. And there are no easy answers. But I think that's what makes this conversation so important. We're not just talking about technology. We're talking about what it means to be human in the age of AI.
So where do we go from here? What's the next step for entrepreneurs who want to embrace this AI revolution, but also make sure they're using it for good?
Jason's advice was simple: start small, experiment, and stay informed. Don't be afraid to try different AI tools and see how they fit into your workflow.
He specifically mentioned a couple of places to stay up to date on all things AI. He mentioned X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, for the latest news and discussions. But he also said something that surprised me. TikTok is actually a great resource for learning about AI trends.
It's true. It's not all just dance challenges and funny videos. There are some really smart people on TikTok who are breaking down complex AI concepts in a way that's easy to understand and even entertaining.
So the takeaway here is to be curious, to be open to new ideas, and to not be afraid to experiment. because the AI revolution is here to stay, and those who embrace it will have a huge advantage in the years to come.
I think that's a great note to end on. Remember, the future is what we make it. Let's use this incredible technology wisely and create a world where everyone can benefit from its power.
That's it for this episode of AI for Biz, where we took a deep dive into the world of AI and what it means for entrepreneurs and small business owners. We've covered a lot of ground, but hopefully you're feeling energized and inspired to take action. Remember, you don't have to be a tech genius to leverage the power of AI. There are tools and resources available to help you get started no matter your skill level. We've included some links in the show notes, so be sure to check those out. And as always, we'd love to hear your thoughts. What are your biggest takeaways from this episode? What are your hopes and fears about the future of AI? Share your comments, and let's keep this conversation going. Thanks for joining us on AI for Biz.